Hello, we are live here, and Awesome C versus New York Red Bulls. We'll be starting very soon. It's just now 7. This will be interesting. Okay, we're about to start. Come on. I hope we win today. That's all I'm hoping right now. Five goals for Fukudas compared to 4. You're so close to starting. It's taking forever. It still adds. see how long this takes. It said the game was starting at 7. 7:05 still at. Okay. We're getting ready. Okay. I'm about to start. Finally. We start off with the kickoff here. Is now New York cross it in, and it's cleared out from a defender to the right side of the box, looking back for a delivery, and Red Bulls. And bro, what? Continuing. Austin FC. Okay. Darwin, taken far for New York. And cleared out, shot, cleared out again. Yeah. And Felipe been served an early yellow card. Yeah, it's a very poor challenge. There's looking at if it's a red card. That is definitely not. Definitely is not. Yeah, I'm confused. I agree. They're thinking about a red. And it's too far for Drusi. Too far for him. As now it'll be a goal kick for New York Red Bulls. 6.5 minutes in. Ugh. Going Not sure whose position it's going to, but Red Bull and New York would win it. Also, C-Send and plays a far through ball down the line and delivered in and cleared out. Fagundes has it on their own corner, pressured by Red Bull and cleared out for Red Bull's or New York's throw-in. Far thrown again into the box. Headed, gone out, fakes a shot, takes another shot, falls to a Red Bulls player. And New York scores first, but it's called back for offside. The goal does not count for New York. That is definitely the right call in the end. Oh, played short. Now here's a chance, and they recover the ball. Uruti, the right. And now throwing for us to see around midfield. As it's been Fagundes almost intercepted there as they also see recover. Passing around at their own end. Looking for options to move forward. And now it's given away in good position. And it's a great tackle that pushes them back a little, New York. And now it's back to Austin FC. And keeper has it on that deflection. And now Jersey concedes a foul just outside the D. Good chance for New York to do something. We're trying their best here. Yeah, that looks like a definitely rough bump, and now they will not have it in bad position, maybe about 25 yards out. Looks like not really sure what they'll do here. If they're gonna have a shooting option. Whistle is blown. Haven't taken a shot yet. They line up. A straight run up as it's hit, and it's well over the bar and into the stands. Also, C near an end. Still passing around. And New York have scored, and it's offside again. Saved by the flag once again here. And New York has scored. This is so annoying. It just spills out of his hands. Also, an unfortunate mistake from the goalkeeper early on. And now it's 1-0 to Red Bull away. And we kick off. Dawson C. And for goodness fouled just as play begins. Gallagher to take that midfield. Never mind, Alex Ring. Oh, handball, but advantage. And now back to defending Elsa C as they keep on going, and the pass is just too far. And it's the goalkeeper's ball. And a foul. For goodness, wins the free kick. And is shouting for a card here near the sideline. That rough challenge. Yep, he definitely put his foot right in front of him. I'm not sure if that's worthy of a foul, but it is a foul. Seemed to hurt his leg. I think as a man who just scored. Will be coming off for a second. It's out of bounds. Okay, closing into the 20th minute mark. Still remaining 1-0. I see Austin keeping it their own end. Gallagher cross and sends a long ball towards Fagundes, and it's just too far and goes out of bounds for a goal kick for New York. Let's see. Holding it, and now also see back on it. Almost gave it away. Booking coming up for Red Bulls. So they have a free kick quite far out, but they could probably whip it into the box and get something into the back of the net, or a header. Played short to Gallagher, across to Lima, who sent it far post, and too much on it will lead it out. And now they keep the ball here. Austin SC, and they're an end. Looking for options. Run. Oh, far ball cross to Fagundes. That will be headed out from a New York player. Out of bounds. Another throw in. New York throw in.
fans.
It's because he scored some absolute bangers against him. 2 left-footed bombs from outside the box when he was playing with NYCFC.
But another free kick to defend here for the Verde and Black. In front of the ever faithful La Murga and Los Verdes. La Murga, the band of the Austin supporters, are in action here at the stadium on Monday night, putting in some extra duty.
And Julio Cascante put in some extra work to draw that foul. Aaron Long very good in the air. Cascante getting in front of Aaron Long and forcing the foul.
Well, another turnover, and has Klimala on his way. And Klimala's shots. Well, that'll be a confidence-boosting save for Andrew Tarbell, but it's picked off again. This is really sloppy defensive work from Austin, and they're punished! Oh my word, the New York Red Bulls are on the rampage here. And it's Drew Yearwood. What a finish from him. Frozen out since June the 11th for this team. And Q2 Stadium is stunned here.
It's been one-way traffic for the New York Red Bulls here at Q2 Stadium. It starts with another turnover. Fagundes, sloppy turnover. Kamala gets it on his left foot. Heavily left-footed player, but when this rebound comes and the ball's going to Felipe, he has no clue that Yearwood's there. Doesn't take a look over his shoulder, and Yearwood out-muscles him. And when he gets that half space, credit to him, he's leaning back away. He wants to try and use Cascante as a screen. He does so well and gets a venomous shot into that far post and in the back of the net.
What a finish from Yearwood. His first goal of the season, only the second he scored in his Red Bulls career, the former Arsenal Youth Academy player. He's English, his father is from Barbados. He played a year in the Championship with Brentford. And they've come a long way, haven't they, the Red Bulls fans? And they're glad they made the trip so far. What a start. And you have to say they're at full value for this lead. And Austin have induced some self-inflicted wounds upon themselves, but the Red Bulls have taken full advantage.
It's been a bit casual from Austin FC, more casual than we're used to seeing them here at Q2 Stadium. And it's turnovers in midfield. When the team sits in the mid-block, they're there to first force turnovers, and Red Bulls are doing so well.
Cascante maybe getting a talking to here from Peter Gonzalez Jr., who's already shown 2 yellows in this game, and Cascante, I think, will be on a final warning after that.
Kamal is an attacker who loves contact, but it's a bit of an aggressive nudge from Cascante. He doesn't try to play the ball much, trying to be physical with Kamala, and the referee spots that and calls the foul.
Mentioned the Red Bulls 6-3-2 on the road. If you throw in a couple of Open Cup wins on the road, they're actually 8-3-2. They've got another Open Cup game coming on Wednesday night in Orlando. That was the reason they kept out their top 2 scorers here tonight in Lucchinius. As Driussi feeds on this, Fagundes looking to hit the crowd on their feet. Tees up ring. Does he hear the approaching footsteps? He doesn't. That's a theme tonight for Austin. Somehow slow to recognize the Red Bulls players charging in to pick them off, and that's been that case from the opening whistle, Michael.
And that's what happens when you play against young players. They have the energy and the ability to recover quickly. And this Red Bull team, you're only going to get a split-second window. They've only given up, about 22 goals on the season, so they're a stingy back line. Yes, you can break down their press, but when you go, you have to go quickly. It's been a physical first half, and I think really didn't see much in that. I think he's grabbing his hamstring in the back, and when you see speedy players typically playing in this heat, sometimes those things happen.
The players will take their hydration break just a few seconds early. Why not? And a chance, a very urgent chance, I imagine, for Josh Wolf and the coaching staff to have a word with the players. And Goma still down. You said it, Michael. This young and hungry Red Bulls team has just left Austin searching for a few answers at the moment. Can they find them?
I think it's going to come down to the play of our two center backs when they have the ball. Can they be more aggressive rather than stationary and passing the ball into a trap? New York is laying that trap at midfield for the Alex Rings, for the Felipes and Sebastian Driussis, and right now we're playing right into their hands.
Well, supporters in fine fettle, as always. It doesn't matter to them what the scoreline is. It hasn't really mattered to Austin what the scoreline is. They've trailed so many times this season, including twice here at home by this same scoreline, 2-0. On both occasions, they came back to snatch 2-2 draws against Orlando and Dallas. This is how we got here. First of all, Andrew Tarbell with a horrible moment for him, a great moment for Sergeant Goma, and then Drew Yearwood. Didn't seem to have any space to squeeze that shot off, Michael, but he not only got it away, he found the bottom corner unerringly. And Goma is going to depart, having scored the opening goal of the game.
And so unfortunate for a young player like Ngoma. He's had a good 30 minutes, getting a goal to his name. Hopefully he's okay.
Cameron Harper is going to be his replacement. Another young Red Bulls player in his second season. Saw Ngoma there with his head in his hands. What a contrast this game could be, Michael, in the space of a few minutes. Talk about wild swinging emotions.
And on the offensive end, it's about taking your chances. New York has done that so far. Unfortunate for Fagundes. But New York has done that. They've been efficient in the final third. And for Austin FC, it's been a bit sloppy, a bit lax. But we know this about this team. They're a team that thrives on reactions. I think it's matching New York's defensive reactions that can get them back in this game.
Oh, Gabrielson getting the crowd on their feet with a little fancy footwork. Felipe, well, he's just been a little off kilter. Lima did well to rescue the situation, but then Owen Wolf, who's Austin's own 17-year-olds, trying to intervene. Alex Ring is going to be penalised, and the frustration levels begin to rise here at Q2 Stadium.
Josh Wolf talked to us about this New York Red Bull team and what to expect. He said, when you get the ball, if you're looking over your shoulder, it's too late. You have to anticipate that there's going to be someone rushing you for 90 minutes. For Austin FC, it's going to take a little bit more soccer savviness. Let the ball move a little bit faster rather than taking one or two extra touches in the build-up.
Well, he had that big decision to make in midfield, didn't he? And he went for Felipe, the experience over the youth of Danny Pereira. The obvious added carrot of getting a highly motivated Felipe to play against his old club, but they need to get this man on the ball. Driussi, his quick throw releases Wolf. He's brought down. Yearwood claiming he had his shirt touched, but it's not going to change the referee's decision.
And a big theme for this first half is just when Austin FC are trying to get going on the counter, what happens? The Red Bull players foul them. That's part of their DNA. That's one of the reasons why they're so difficult to play against. They have no problem fouling you before you can be effective.
Rig. Felipe made the run into space. Now can he use it? Felipe! Oh, just as he was cutting in and preparing to play the cross in, Caden Clark appeared. Made up a lot of ground there. Caden Clark, US Under-20 international.
This is a good run from Felipe, but even better recovery from Clark. I think Felipe took a little too long to serve that ball. I know he wanted to get to the end line, but sometimes early service can disrupt an opponent.
And a corner kick off her way back into this one for Fagundes. Trying to find Gabrielson, and then Driussi down into the ground. And Carlos Coronel hasn't had much of a touch of the ball so far. The Red Bull's Brazilian keeper will fall on it. Sebastian Drusi heading to the All-Star game on August the 10th. Also take part in the All-Star Skills Challenge.
Yeah, it's more than deserved, and I think a few other Austin FC players have played well enough to merit an all-star selection, but those are some of the decisions that sometimes you ponder.
Cascante bringing it out of the back. 10 minutes left of the first half, which has really been grabbed hold of here by the Red Bulls. They were proactive right from the word go. They've looked at least half a step, if not a full step quicker. But now Arruti on the move, but just shielded away from the danger zone by Edelman.
I think that's what made New York so effective in this first half is the back pressing. As soon as one player gets beat, someone else is back pressing. It's a striker, it's a winger, it's an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, no time to settle on the ball at all, is there, for any Austin player? No peace. That's Cascante trying to slide it into an invisible gap, and now is there to recover.
With this compact Red Bull midfield, Sebastian Driussi, we've seen him drift a little bit further wide, and that's caused an interchange between he and Diego Fagundes, trying to figure out a way to solve this defensive puzzle.
Well, it was second in the West against fourth in the East at kickoff, but your Red Bulls were leading the Eastern Conference just a week and a half ago. Now, the common consensus around the league might be that these two teams are both punching a little bit above their weight, both overperforming to various degrees, but don't tell that to the respective coaching and playing staffs, Michael. Continue to doubt us, has been the message, at least here in Austin.
And this is an Austin FC group that thrive on the doubters, the naysayers, the haters. And they're doing it on the field, and they're doing it in some of the most uncanniest of ways, getting results.
Well, they're going to need to dig themselves out of a hole again here. Second half comebacks that were exhilarating, that we've witnessed here in the last couple of months against Orlando and Dallas. Everything has been slightly out of sync and off kilter for the Verde and Black in this first half, and the Red Bulls have looked sharp and concise and hungry. They're stringing passes together again here. The back heel was interesting for Momir Fernandez, didn't quite come off. Now Driussi from deep slides it for Felipe.
And another midfielder, when that ball's there to be taken, to be aggressive, doesn't take a look over his shoulder, but Austin FC managed to retain possession.
I have to say, even at this stage, Josh Wolf must be pondering Danny Pereira, I imagine, for the second half, because it clearly hasn't worked in this first half.
And I think he could be key, just as he was against Houston. We saw Houston sit in trying to frustrate Austin FC in the first half last time they were at home. And Diego Fagundes comes in with a magical free kick, but I think it was the introduction of Danny Pereira that changed the game. He just adds a bit more dynamic movement, able to beat that press off the dribble, and I think he can do that in the second half.
Fagundes has had a whole series of long balls played his way in the air. Felipe just, again, looking a little bit short of pace, and it's picked off by Drew Yearwood. Another storming, strong run from him. Ring able to get an important toe in this time.
That's why Alex Ring is in that position. An experienced play. Just when you think Yearwood's getting away, Ring cuts off his angle, makes him come back, and then pokes that ball away.
Long run from Maxi Arruti, but whenever a long ball has been played over the top by Austin tonight, almost without exception, it has been just a little too strong. Those fine margins. Austin on the wrong side of the ledger. Maxi Arruti with 7 goals this year, 5 of them game winners. He actually leads the league in that department. At the age of 31, playing for 6th MLS team.
And he's a striker who thrives off service. Hasn't really gotten it in the first half. Wonder if the likes of Ethan Finley playing right wing at some point in this game to change some of that.
Well, Josh Wolf confided in us yesterday that he was wrestling with who to start up front in this one, but in the end it's too strong a bond between Arruti and Driussi to break it, isn't it? But felt that Moussa Jide and Danny Houston might have something to say in this one too. As Fagundes sets out his stall here, everyone lined up across the edge of the Red Bulls penalty area in towards Cascante. But as you said, this Red Bulls defence is sturdy. 22 goals conceded, 3rd best record in the league. Austin aren't far behind them. They conceded only 24 themselves.
And in a lot of the games they've lost has been close, competitive games. In the game against NYCFC, it was a 1-0 game, and they didn't really give up too much, and a Tate Cassiano wonder goal was the difference. And Austin FC, they're going to have to come up with something special to unlock this New York Red Bull defense.
Geberson. Across to Cascante. Can they find a foothold in this game in the last few minutes of this first half? Such a good record against the Eastern Conference as a whole. Austin, 6 wins and 1 draw. Their 7 previous games against the East. This is the last time they'll play an Eastern Conference team in the regular season. Owen Wolf into Driussi. Glides through a couple of challenges. Driussi on the move here. It's Felipe! Felipe! Oh, it opened up so fantastically for Felipe. And he had everything except the finishing touch.
And this is credit to Sebastian Driussi, accelerating, picking up the tempo, drawing 3 players over to him, and that opens up space for Felipe. Felipe gets in a good spot, gets by the first defender, and when that ball sets up, I think it's a rush of blood to the head, goes for the weaker left foot, thought he should have gone with the right-footed volley. We know he can finish, throwing the clock back, and so difficult for the veteran midfielder. I know he's going to want that one back, and the fans want that one back as well.
Wondering quite how he missed. At last, the Austin attack showing exactly what it's capable of. And no surprise that Driussi was at the heart of that move.
It's been a bit static from the midfield. It's been one too many touches, and when it's been there to counter, I think it's been waiting for a player like Sebastian Driussi to up the tempo and be a bit more dynamic, and he found a good spot playing off the shoulder of the defensive midfielder, and then being dynamic, getting aggressive on the dribble, and taking space.
Well, this whole Austin system and ethos is all about build-up. It's all about touches in their own defensive third. There's a heavy emphasis on the off-the-ball movement, which you haven't seen a huge amount of tonight, Michael. That's been glaring to my eyes, at least.
And I think that's down to the fact that rather than coming out to press and high press, New York is sitting off the 2 center backs and sitting in the mid-block.
Yeah, they're going to have plenty to chew over here at halftime here, and there's going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time before we get to the break. So still time to get some sort of foothold in proceedings. Gallagher hasn't had much joy down the left, up against Tom Edwards and Edelman as well. It's floated in deep. Oh, and Owen Wolf almost snuck in around the back. John Tolkien did well in the end to realise he was there. Concedes the corner.
And as good as Coronel has been for the New York Red Bulls from last year to this year, one thing he struggles with, flighted balls in the box. We saw that last week, and it was almost costly for him again, but he's been defending in the end from Tolkien.
Well, they're on their feet here at Q2. Not those particular folks in your picture, but most of the stadium are, I can promise you, as Diego Fagundes sends in a signal. And sent in the cross towards Ring. It's Driussi, got hold of that one! And there it is! Oh, yes! Sweet as you like. Put his name up in lights. The talented Mr. Driussi, starring in Austin.
That's the moment Austin FC have been waiting for. That's the moment Austin FC fans have been waiting for. Fagundes targeting Alex Ring, but it's all about Sebastian Driussi. He had another volley before this where he scuffed it, but he gets all of this, hitting it through traffic and placing it into the bottom corner. So difficult to mark when you're a goalkeeper, when there are players in front of you, but Driussi, the technique is the difference. He gets over the ball, snaps at it, lashes at it, and it's in the back of the net. And game on, Austin FC. You see what it means to him? You see how much it's needed for this team to get this goal before half.
Through a forest of legs as Austin start to come out of the woods of this first half against the New York Red Bulls. The 12th of the year for the Argentine superstar. He really is the complete package. Artistry and end product.
He's been everything in the last couple games. The fifth game, well, now that he's had either a goal or assist, and it's just at the perfect time for Austin FC to take that goal and that momentum into halftime.
4 minutes of stoppage time presented by Sharp Vision, modern LASIK, official LASIK provider of Austin FC, as they're on the comeback trail again. A little deja vu perhaps as Felipe is in here. Felipe tried to square it. Aaron Long, who's one of those who was a former teammate of Felipe's. He concedes the corner, and Austin perhaps smelling some blood in the water here. Now even those folks are on their feet. As Fagundes sees it near post, Ring at full tilt, and then Cascante couldn't quite latch on, but it was an interesting ball for Alex Ring, who went for the diving header.
And Alex Ring has been the target of the last two set pieces, trying to catch this young Red Bull team at the near post. Well, that ball flicks. Cascante reacts first, but just can't get enough connection on it. Connects with that ball sliding wide.
Gabrielson. Wrestling there with Klimala. Well, that puts a whole different colour to this first half, Michael, doesn't it? Makes the I don't know if it changes the team talk for Josh Wolf, but it certainly adds a different dynamic to it. Being down 2-1 thanks to Driussi's wonder strike.
Goals change games, and they certainly change halftime talks.
It won't change the fact that the Red Bulls dominated huge swathes of this first half, and Austin seemed to be climbing out of that first half an hour funk now. Gabrielson back to Tarbell. Cascante. Lima looking long. Tom Edwards there to meet it. Edwards climbing all over Driussi, who turns around with a mystified look, as if to say, where's the whistle? Well, the whistle does arrive, but it's for half-time, Michael.
In the last few minutes, we've seen a tactical shift. Sebastian Driussi shifting out more as a left winger. Diego Fagundes coming in to play closer to goal, closer to Maxi Ruti. It's shown up in the form of a goal for Sebastian Driussi.
Well, it was a horrible start for Austin FC, some self-inflicted wounds, and Goma and Yearwood scoring for the New York Red Bulls, who looked to be in total control at one point. But Sebastian Driussi has changed the storyline, as he's done so often this season, and Austin have hope here. They trail by 2-1.
Hey, it's Chip from Hewlett Volkswagen in Georgetown. Our job is a lot like soccer. Our team aims for one goal, to pass you the savings so you can score big on your next Volkswagen purchase. Like the Volkswagen ID4 EV, the Jetta, the Tiguan, and the Atlas. You might even say we're changing the game in car buying. So shop online or safely with us in our dealership, Hewlett Volkswagen, off I-35 in Westinghouse, or see for yourself at hewlettvw.com.
Sorry, line at the bank took forever.
You went into the bank?
I got to get my paycheck in.
Mine was in 2 days ago, and I never go in a bank.
What?
I get paid 2 days faster with my NetSpend All Access account by MetaBank.
I'm thinking I should switch to All Access.
Good idea.
Thing is, my credit's not great.
No worries. There's no credit check, no cost to order, and no minimum balance required.
So what am I waiting for?
Good question.
Winning begins at an early age. Since 1983, the winning team for your home and family has been the Steam Team. The Steam Team, committed to keeping Austin clean, one room at a time. The Steam Team, official sponsor of Austin FC.
MLS Predict 6, presented by BetMGM. A weekly free-to-play game from Major League Soccer. Correctly make a set of predictions for each of the 6 featured MLS matches, and you could win $50,000, with other prizing each week. Play for free at MLSPredict6.com. Get in the game and win big.
When you're hungry, you're not going to let 5,000 feet of mountain get in your way. And if it tries, that's what our lineup of exceptionally capable, available all-wheel drive SUVs is for. After all, we take this pretty seriously. The SUVs and the dinner. Get 3.49% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2022 Sorento.
Welcome back to Q2 Stadium. Tonight's first half highlights brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams covered the earth. The assistant referee on the near side was busy early on, Michael, not once but twice.
Well, fortune favored the Verde and Black, and it set the tone for really a difficult first half. New York Red Bull just reacting faster on these two opportunities, and ultimately setting up the first goal.
So Austin had been warned, hadn't they, that the Red Bulls meant business. Andrew Tarbell, you have to feel for him, Michael. Awful moment for any goalkeeper.
And it's a bit of a mental error and a technique. He goes to parry that ball, and the ball moves at the last second. They want that one back.
And Goma with his second goal of the season, swiftly followed by Drew Yearwood with his first.
And it comes off another turnover. Yearwood pressing Felipe, and the credit to him. He gets all of that one, lashes that in the back of the net.
But then the moment that provided a lifeline for the Verde and Black. Driussi had threatened this a few minutes before. When he connected, it was oh so sweet.
Full credit to Sebastian Driussi. This is why he's an MLS All-Star. That is such a difficult goal to score. The technique, the power, the placement. Well done.
And it changes the complexion of that halftime team talk as we welcome you into Q2 Stadium. Adrian Healy, Michael Lahoud. Austin had a clear plan, didn't they, heading into this one, how to deal with the unique challenge posed by the New York Red Bulls. And the Red Bulls played in a way which perhaps they weren't anticipating. That plan had to go out the window.
New York Red Bull, we know they're synonymous with high pressing. But in this matchup, they've been in the mid-block, which then gives more time to the center backs and more time to think. And I think they've done a good job of cutting out passing lanes to Sebastian Driussi, Alex Ring, and Felipe in the midfield. It's made it tougher for the Verde and Black.
Despite that goal from Sebastian Driussi getting Austin back into contention, do you think Josh Wolf is pondering a change at the moment? He made that decision with Danny Pereira, didn't he?
Absolutely. We saw it in the Houston Dynamo FC game in the second half. Danny comes in, adds a little bit more dynamic nature, ability to skin players, turn against pressure. I think this game's made for him.
Sure, they're talking about it right now. Let's look at the first half from a statistical point of view. The first half stats brought to you by NetSpend, official payment provider of Austin FC, and the Red Bulls, as you might expect, dominating in most categories except corners, Michael.
And it's the shots on goal. 4 shots to Austin FC's 2. They've stymied Austin FC attacks and also the foul count. Every time the Verde and Black have gotten in transition, Red Bull players foul them immediately and then play off set pieces, which is one of their strengths.
Not sure I've ever seen a team do more with 22% of the ball than the Red Bulls managed in that first half. That's one of those stats that makes you scratch your eyes a little bit. We will be back to run the rule over what might happen in the second half with Josh Wolf and company here. Driussi's goal giving hope for the Verde and Black.
SeatGeek. Oh yeah, my life used to be quite boring. Just sitting on the couch, at the office, the occasional restaurant. But now, wow, I'm living the dream. This week alone, whew, I've been to 2 basketball games and a concert. I've never felt more alive in my life. Get your seat tickets to sports, concerts, and live events. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
It's football season in Texas. It's time for you to get into your new vehicle from Capital Chevrolet. With an incredible Chevy lineups and huge selections of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, you'll be sure to score big and shop with peace of mind with the Capital Chevrolet price guarantee. They'll beat any dealership's written offer or pay you $1,000. Now that's a win. Score your ride with my team from Capital Chevrolet, the heart of Austin.